Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to do something a little different. We're shelving the dusty, dry biographies of corporate titans. Instead, we're getting into some real strategic thinking. You shared some fantastic sources with us that treat Charlie Munger's wisdom, well, not as heavy reading.
Right, not at all. They frame it as the ultimate strategy guide.
Exactly, like a cheat sheet built around these 9 distinct orbs or superpowers. So today we are diving into the Munger toolkit, which is designed to turn you, the listener, into what the sources lovingly call a superhero thinker.
I love that framing. And our mission today is really about synthesis. We're looking at this through a very specific lens. This whole deep dive is about understanding the collected secrets that allowed Munger to succeed.
Tracing his path, you mean?
Yeah, tracing his path from what the sources call a high-difficulty starting point all the way to becoming this calm, successful strategist. We're here to unlock these 9 powers and make sure you understand not just what they are, but, how to keep them equipped and working together.
It makes it feel like an active quest, not just passive learning. So let's jump in. The foundation, the biggest power-ups in this whole system.
Okay, so we have to start with Orb 1, the Master Orb. This is mental models.
The big one.
It's the big one. The core realization Munger had, and this is so critical, is that the world is just. It's too complex to be understood by one discipline alone.
Right. You can't solve a finance problem with just finance.
Exactly. The smartest people don't win with one trick. They win by collecting the best big ideas from adverse subjects. Biology, physics, psychology, economics, history.
Yeah.
All of them.
And the source sets a pretty specific goal for you. It says to collect about 100 of these foundational mental models. But, for someone listening who's maybe prepping for a meeting, what does a mental model actually look like? It sounds a bit abstract.
It's surprisingly concrete. A mental model is just a big idea that explains how the world works. Take opportunity cost.
Right.
That's from economics. You use that model when you decide to spend Saturday watching a movie. You're not just spending time. You're actively giving up the chance to study or work out or earn money. That's the cost.
And what's another one?
From psychology, you have confirmation bias. That model explains why we instinctively look for information that proves what we already believe. It makes us predictable.
So if I have 100 of those, I can basically run an Avengers team simulation in my head before I make a call. That really changes how you think about studying. But collecting them is one thing. How do you deploy them?
That brings us to the application tool. That's Orb 2, the detective orb.
Inversion.
Inversion, thinking backward. The sources call it the ultimate cheat code.
Yeah, because most people ask, how do I win? Or how do I achieve X? Munger teaches us to start by asking the complete opposite.
Exactly. How could I absolutely definitively fail at this? How could this explode in the most embarrassing way possible?
And that's where the clarity comes from. So inversion tells you that success often just comes from avoiding guaranteed failure.
Let's take an example. Say you have to give a presentation at work.
Okay.
Instead of asking, how do I give a perfect presentation? You ask,
how could I absolutely ruin this presentation?
Yes. So let's run that. How do you ruin it?
Okay. I show up late. My laptop's not charged. I just read my slides word for word. And maybe I insult the person who asks a question.
Perfect. So now the winning strategy is just don't do those things.
Right. It becomes painfully simple. Show up on time, charge your laptop, know your key points, and be polite.
That's the power of the detective orb. It clarifies the path forward by first identifying all the obvious traps. The sources say this is how winners handle everything: tests, tryouts, talent shows. They just systematically avoid the preventable disasters.
That sets the whole strategic framework. Now let's get into self-management, deciding where to focus and how to, multiply your efforts. This brings us to orbs 3 and 4.
So we move to Orb 3, the force field orb. This is the circle of competence.
This one is so important because it gives you permission to say no.
It's permission to decline opportunities, exactly. You have to know your secret zones of genius. And it's not just okay. It's strategically smart to say, that project, that investment, it's outside my circle. I'm not touching it.
It's a defense mechanism, a force field. The source gives great examples. Fortnite pros, they stick to the meta they know. Mr. Beast sticks to his huge stunts. LeBron sticks to basketball. They protect their zone.
And that is so much harder than it sounds, because we're always encouraged to be generalists, to try a bit of everything. But Munger's power comes from that deliberate focus of energy. The character Alex in the source material used this perfectly.
Right. He knew he wasn't athletic, so he used inversion
Orb 2.
and saw a disaster in trying out for basketball. So he defined his circle of competence around coding instead, and he succeeded there.
Knowing what you won't do is just as valuable as knowing what you will.
So once you know where to focus, you need to multiply the results. That's where we get Orb 4, the snowball orb compound interest in everything.
Yes. And here's where it gets really, really interesting. Because we always think of compounding as a money thing.
Right, Finance 101.
But Munger showed its application is universal. It's the math of ridiculous superpowers. Tiny habits plus time equals these massive, disproportionate results.
And most people focus on intensity, right? The all-nighter,
Yeah.
the sprint. But compounding is all about consistency.
So what are some of the non-financial examples?
Okay, take skills. Reading 10 pages a day, it doesn't feel like much, but you'll finish 30 or 40 books a year. That's exponential growth for your brain. The source calls it becoming a super brain. And it works in reverse, too. If you neglect a skill by just 1% a day, it decays just as fast. The key insight is that consistency is the only thing that guarantees that long-term gain.
It turns daily effort into a force of nature, which leads perfectly into Orbs 5 and 6, which are more external. They're about understanding people.
Right. So Orb 5 is the X-ray glasses, orb incentives and biases. This is the ultimate psychology tool. Munger said, show me the incentive and I will show you the outcome. And this orb lets you see those invisible forces. You stop just reacting to what people do on the surface.
You start seeing the underlying motivation. You become, as the source says, a mind-reading psychologist. The class clown isn't just disruptive. He's chasing the incentive of laughs and attention.
But it gets really powerful when multiple incentives stack up.
That's when you get to the Lollapalooza effect. This is Munger's term for when multiple biases all combine and push in the same direction. It's not one force, it's 4 or 5 all at once.
Can you give us a tangible example of that?
Yeah.
The source mentioned a YouTuber jumping off a roof, which sounds extreme.
And think about that YouTuber. It's not just one incentive. First, you have the reward bias. Huge financial payoff from views. That's combined with social proof. Millions of people watch this, so it must be good. Then you stack on liking bias. The audience likes the creator, and consistency bias. The creator has to keep delivering more extreme content.
So when all those forces converge,
you get behavior that looks totally crazy, but it's actually an inevitable outcome of these powerful stacked incentives.
That makes so much sense. And once you understand those forces, you need a defense, which is Orb 6, the golden aura orb, 100% trustworthiness.
Trust compounds faster than money. It just operates on a completely different plane. The key here is that reliability isn't just a virtue, it's a strategic asset.
Being the person who always keeps promises.
Yeah.
Even the small ones, like sending a meme you said you would.
Exactly. It makes you unignorable. It reduces all the friction around you. People don't have to second guess you.
The source says reputation is the ultimate glitch that gives you infinite lives. I love that. If you're trustworthy, people give you the benefit of the doubt. They bring you opportunities first.
And that character, Alex, being voted class president because he always does what he says he'll do, that's it right there. That's strategic capital built day by day with compound interest.
So moving from the external world to our internal landscape, we need tools to fight our own biases. Let's tackle Orb 7, the anti-venom orb killing the envy monster.
A classic Munger insight, and maybe one of the most important for today's world. Envy really is the happiness thief that lives in your phone.
Comparing your real life to someone else's highlight reel.
The switch you have to make is from, I want what they have, to, that's awesome, how can I learn from them? It turns that resentment into usable information.
And Munger's view on this was so specific and honestly pretty funny.
Oh, the quote is vital. He called envy a really stupid sin because it's the only one you can't have any fun with.
Right.
Unlike greed or gluttony, which give you some kind of momentary pleasure, envy offers nothing. It just self-destructs. It actively blocks you from enjoying your own success.
The complementary tool here, the one that fuels all the others, is Orb 8. The infinite library, Orb lifelong learning. The goal being to destroy that excuse, I hate reading.
And we have to be clear about this. Brain food has evolved. It's not just dusty textbooks anymore. It's manga. It's deep dive YouTube documentaries. It's podcasts. It's game wikis. Any focused, deep input counts.
And the math here is what makes it infinite. The daily law is simple. Go to bed 1% smarter than you woke up. Which sounds tiny.
It sounds like nothing, but if you gain 1% knowledge daily and compound it over a year...
the result is staggering.
Yeah, The source confirms it. In 365 days, you'll be 3,778% smarter. That's not a typo. That's the power of compounding consistency again. Tiny, consistent inputs.
Which brings us to the final truth. The ninth orb, which is really the summary and the challenge of this whole philosophy. Orb 9. The final boss orb. Simple, but not easy.
This is the truth bomb. It's designed to challenge your ego.
Yeah.
All these tools we've discussed, mental models, inversion, trust, they are, frankly, stupidly simple. They're not hidden secrets.
So if they're so simple, why isn't everyone doing this? The challenge, according to the source, isn't complexity. It's our own internal resistance.
It's ego, it's impatience, it's the constant distraction of whatever social media feed is most addictive this week. The people who win are the ones who just keep using the simple tools when everyone else gets bored and gives up.
Munger's core advice really boils down to 3 things then. First, level up your brain daily, even if it's just 1 video or 10 pages. Second, embrace this idea. The best way to get what you want is to deserve what you want. Be so undeniably good and reliable that the world has no choice but to give you opportunities.
And the third one is the one that separates the legends from everyone else. If it feels hard, you're doing it right. The real wins aren't in the hype. They're in the quiet, daily grind that happens while everyone else quits.
The source wraps this up with a really powerful thought, a letter from future you, talking about the freedom you've gained, with money, time, location, all because we kept the simple tools equipped.
So yeah, what does this all mean? We've unlocked the 9 orbs of the Munger toolkit. It's a full system for continuous leveling up. The path is clear.
But the work isn't done just by listening to this. The source leaves you with a final quest. It's about immediate action. It asks you to take out a sheet of paper right now.
Yes. And on it, you list the 3 superpowers from this deep dive that excited you the most.
And under each one,
You have to write one tiny, tiny action you will do in the next 24 hours to use it. So if you liked inversion, your action might be, before I send that important email, I'm going to write down 3 ways it could be misunderstood. And then you adjust it.
that one sheet of paper becomes the blueprint. It takes these ideas from just being concepts to being actual practice. The challenge isn't just to listen to the summary, but to log off, assemble your mental models, and actually use them. Go win the day.